The Ukrainian army continues its offensive. Ukrainians are exerting immense pressure on the Russian defense line through concentrated artillery fire from all types of guns, ranging from the smallest to the largest. Take a look at how skillfully and accurately the Ukrainian forces are using precision-guided munitions, like the Excalibur today. I'll show you the best moments of the combat actions. In this video, you can see a Russian self-propelled howitzer TUS-9 taking position in a forested area. Since the start of the counteroffensive this month, Ukraine says it has regained control over clusters of villages in the southeast, although Russia still holds swaths of territory in the east, south, and southeast. If we talk about the entire front line, both east and south, we have seized the strategic initiative and are advancing in all directions, Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar said. Maliar said Ukrainian troops were moving confidently on the flanks around the devastated eastern city of Bakhmut, which is held by Russian forces, and the main fighting was going on around the city. Ukrainian 30th Mechanized Brigade recently released a video that showed how exactly Ukrainians managed to breach Russian defense. Russians have developed a very long system of trenches, which means using traditional means, such as mortars and artillery, is highly inefficient. That is why Ukrainians decided to deploy multiple assault drone crews to target Russians precisely. Unlike artillery and mortar crews that shoot their shells blindly, drone operators see their target directly and can drop explosive shells precisely on the spot where Russian forces are located. In the south, Kyiv's forces were moving with mixed success and mainly leveling the front line, she said. After conducting a series of successful operations south of Bakhmut, Ukrainians have shifted their focus to the northern part of the region. The main axis of advance became the Sloviansk Highway, where Russians used the dense tree lines along the road to conceal extensive trench networks. Video footage shows Ukrainian troops seizing Russian trenches in a forested area near Bakhmut using grenades, drone bombs, and tanks. In this footage, grenades can be seen being thrown and drone bombs being dropped in trenches in a forested area on the front line. Russian soldiers are seen seeking cover as drone bombs fall around them. Footage later shows Ukrainian tanks opening fire on the Russian positions and causing a huge explosion. This was the 3rd Assault Brigade attack on the southwest outskirts of Bakhmut. Additionally, footage shows a Ukrainian drone dropping grenades on a Russian tank while it is driving along a dirt road before a second drone bomb is seen dropping on another Russian tank. Footage then shows a third Russian tank being targeted by a Ukrainian drone bomb, with it hitting the vehicle and causing smoke to shoot out as it finally stops as the footage ends. Other footage shows Ukrainian kamikaze drones destroying Russian tanks on the front line. Ukrainian drones were then seen dropping their bombs on the Russian positions, causing a huge explosion and billowing of smoke into the air. Meanwhile, footage shows Ukrainian troops charging Russian trenches with rifles near Bakhmut in thrilling scenes. This footage was released by the 3rd Company of the 1st Mechanized Battalion and shows the brave troops clearing a trench of the enemy and positioning themselves in it for further shelling. The 30th Mechanized Brigade issued a statement saying, "You cannot hide from 30 ONBR drones. Near Bakhmut, invaders hid in forests, in ditches, under trees, and camouflage nets. But even there, our fighters found him and punished him for his uninvited visit to Ukraine." Other footage released by the State Border Guard Service of Ukraine shows Ukrainian drones targeting a number of Russian soldiers moving through trees in a forest area, as well as what appears to be a dugout and a network of trenches. Meanwhile, Ukraine confirmed on Monday it had driven Russian forces from an 8th village in its 2-week-old counteroffensive in a heavily fortified part of the front line on the most direct route to the country's Azov Sea coast. A Russian-installed official said on Sunday that Ukraine had taken control of Pidikaki in the southern Zaporizhia region. He later said Moscow had pushed them out, and on Monday morning, he said Ukraine was attacking again. Ukraine's Deputy Defense Minister Maliar said Ukrainian forces had not only retaken Piatikati, but had advanced by up to 4.3 miles into Russian lines in 2 weeks, capturing 44 square miles of land. In the course of 2 weeks of offensive operations in the Berdyansk and Melitopol directions, 8 settlements were liberated, Melior said on Telegram, referring to 2 cities on the Russian-occupied coastline. The reported capture of the villages reflects incremental gains for Ukraine that highlight the challenge of breaking through lines Moscow has spent months strengthening. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hailed the efforts of the troops and said he would continue talks with Western allies to get weapons and ammunition supplies to them as soon as possible. Our troops are advancing, position by position, step by step. We are moving forward, he said on Sunday evening. The main thing is the speed of supply. On Monday, the Russian Defense Ministry said its forces had thwarted a Ukrainian attempt to take the village of Novodonetsk in the eastern Donetsk region, one of the areas where Kyiv's counteroffensive has been focused.